So after they put me away, though, for 30 days in jail, again, off my first technical dirty urine. What? Yeah. 30 days. And after that, another 30 days in a rehab. I knew there was something fishy going on, though. I knew there was. And then they sent me to a rehab 4 hours away with wide open doors so I could just come and go as I please if I wanted to. I could have just walked out at any moment. But why run? I didn't have nothing to hide from. I didn't have a reason to run. They tried anything and everything they could to make me look like a bad person, and they still do. From the time I threw that cup of water in her face and she looked at me and said, "I bet that's a charge." Before that, though, when she shut the garage door, when I turn around to go out the main big door, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I just want to see the kids. But before that, though, when she started with her phone was facing us. I was putting this together while she was talking to me in my face, trying to get me to put my hands on her. Her phone was facing us, so I'm like, that's recording us right now. Why would she be doing that? And then I started telling her the truth because she cheated on me with a black man. But when I would come home from helping people in the neighborhood, all of our neighbors were black people. I was friends with all of them. I would come home at night from helping them, though, and her actual legit ass words were, "I don't know why you're helping them dirty N-words when you should be here with your family." Meanwhile, she's cheating on me behind my back with a black dude. If that's not how cold somebody is in their heart, I don't know what is. But I turned around to go out the garage doors, and there were two people standing up on the hill videotaping us even. I'm like, the fuck is really going on here right now? So I go down, and she's already calling the cops. I got my son outside, I got the kids outside, and I throw water in her face. I was so angry, but I threw water, and she looks right at me, and she goes, "I bet that's a charge." I could tell by the way she said it was a setup. And I'm like, you set me up. You were trying to set me up. But I'm glad that's all I did. But off of that, they really used that. And I always wondered, too, why there were so many goddamn people in the courtroom that day that I went in for the harassment charge. And then they tell me I can't come around or I'll go to jail because of this harassment charge. So that cuts me going to see my son out completely because she wouldn't bring my son to see me. Nope. But they planned it. Not just her, but them. All of them. I hate it. I hate every part of it. Talk about getting the shitty end of the deal. I don't care if people don't like me, but that doesn't mean you take my children away from me. Just because you have that power and you have them people that'll help you, and I have nobody. But this time I choose to be alone. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's just going to fuck me over. With someone who just wants to use me and abuse me for what I'm worth. No. I'd rather work my ass off every day and come home to this, where I can do and say whatever the hell I want, when I want, and nobody's going to stop me. And build it up enough to where my kids can come visit me and get to know who their dad is. Without restrictions. This world's fucked up for some of us, man. And I'll admit, I had a bad outlook on life after my mother was murdered. And I tried making it better. I got sober. And then I met my son's mother, the one that married the cop. And everything was fine in the beginning until I saw the control come in from her parents. And it would have been okay if they let me just be me. And I think why they hate me too is because they took me to church. I went to church with them. They took me to the pastor and we did the Jesus come into my heart prayer. And they tried to get that to work for me, but it only works for you if you want it. It's not magically just going to happen. It only works for you if you want it to. And I think they're really mad because then this time around in 2020, I decide on my own that I'm going to go get saved. Nobody pushed me in that direction. I did that on my own because I wanted a relationship with God on my terms, not on somebody else's terms. And I don't think they like that. They don't agree. I think that's why that memo went out to the FBI in Virginia during the elections in 2020, because they have the right people, and I was in the middle of that investigation, and I went and got baptized at that Catholic church, and there was definitely an FBI informant right next to me holding my hand. I still have the pictures of him. Her. And God knows who else might have been in there. And then when I seen them talking about it on Capitol Hill with Christopher Wray, the director at the time of the FBI, they're like, and you had so-called extremists being followed and watched by FBI informants. And he says the people who put the memo out are also religious. That doesn't make any sense. Who cares? The fact of the matter is, they did it because they hate me. So many people have had their lives changed and had to suffer because people hate me. It's not fair. It's not fair to me. It's definitely not fair to me. It's not fair to the people I love, because I can't even have a relationship with them right now because of that. But what's really sad is why they did it. They did it just because they hate me. Not because I'm a bad person. Like I said, anybody's welcome to look at my record. Everything's from 20 years ago. Right when basically around the time my mother got murdered. I went off the deep end. And who wouldn't? And then I got into drug use. And how many people actually that have drugs in their life don't go to drug use when something really bad happens to them? How many people get judged by humans for what they do, though? How about that one? Nobody has the right to judge somebody else. And in my case, some of these judges shouldn't have a right to judge other people. That Ammerheim out there, what he did to me was wrong. And Davis. Davis used to be an attorney of mine back in 2004. That should be a conflict of interest. He even said the day he said good luck to me and gave me probation, he said, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" And I played stupid just for the fact of the matter. I said, "I don't think so." I knew who he was. He was my attorney from the case in 2004. That's a conflict of interest. He shouldn't have been any judge to me. But they wanted it to go so fast to get moved through so quick because they didn't want more and more people that were of authority to know. That's why I was so glad the whistleblowers came out and said something about all that, because I would have been afraid to talk. But it's funny how I write Congress. I call and I write Congress and certain people in different areas of Congress. And right after that, they're talking about the whistleblowers coming out. And I was so thankful that they did, though. I just want to know how far they actually went, because that's what I don't know. I don't know how far they actually went with me. They were trying for 15 years with that email. They were using an email of mine to stay attached to me. They were putting what they wanted in that email. That email to this day, I've only touched one time when I open up on my PlayStation. Other than that, it's been completely attached to them. It wasn't mine. Ever since me and her split up, somehow they got a hold of it, and they came up with this plan to take me out. And they held on to that email all them years. That's sick. That's twisted right there. You don't do that to somebody just because you hate them. Just because you think they're a bad person. And that's it. They think that I'm a bad person. No one's even given me a chance, especially while I'm sober, to see what kind of person I am. No. They went off my drug use and my past relationships and what's happened. And every single time I was shit on. I never cheated on any of my kids' mothers. Never. Well, my first one, but we were cheating on each other. But that was years ago. We're talking 21 years now.